Support for the Lancast is provided by Winey Way Books and Pennsylvania College of Art and Design.
Welcome to the Lancast. I'm David Moulton.
And I'm Becky Svensson. On this episode of the Lancast, we talk to Kristen Hertzog from Haitian Connection Network.
Kristen shares about how the Haitian Connection Network is filling the educational gap left behind from the recent earthquake.
One of the things that a lot of people don't know about is that after the 2010 earthquake, Haiti lost 28 of 32 universities. They either collapsed to the ground or they just are no longer functioning. So there's this huge amount of people who they want more education, they want a skill set, but they just don't have the opportunity.
She also tells us what it's like to be an actress / model / mom / bed and breakfast innkeeper / executive director / Catholic Italian wife of a Mennonite. So we had a lot to talk about.
So this is it went something like this. We drive to New Jersey. How you doing? Oh my God, kisses all around, hugs. Oh, who is this? Your new boyfriend? Oh, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, he's beautiful. Oh, eat some pasta. He's like, what? Where did I go? And 24 hours later, we're in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, surrounded by head coverings and cape dresses. And we're sitting down for silent prayer, which I had never done before in my life. Did not know what was happening. Everybody's kind of put their head down all at the same time. Everybody came up at the same time, and they talked about the crops and the weather for 2 hours. Like, it was just like our culture, like we had never seen, experienced that culture clash. Was unbelievable the first year.
Enjoy the conversation.
Well, Kristen, thank you for joining us on the show.
Hey, thanks. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing in Haiti?
Wow. Well, I'm actually the co-director, co-founder, if you will, of the Haitian Connection Network. And what it is it is a student computer center where Haitian people who have no opportunity for higher education can go to the center. It's a safe location with internet and energy and everything that's needed to be successful in higher education. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about is that after the 2010 earthquake, Haiti lost 28 of 32 universities. They either collapsed to the ground or they just are no longer functioning. So there's this huge amount of people who they want more education, they want a skill set, but they just don't have the opportunity. So we're filling that need via a virtual online education program.
This seems kind of very interesting to me because when I think of Haiti, I don't necessarily think of reliable internet.
Isn't that the truth? Well, that is definitely a big issue for many Haitians. It's extremely expensive and it's not reliable. But we're very fortunate. We have an internet company that does fiber optics. So we have reliable internet, 3 sources of energy. You have your regular Haitian electric, PP&L, our version, but then you also have to have generators and inverters too, so that if one conks out, you have another version to jump onto right away. So running a center in Haiti has a lot of hoops to jump through, but nothing that we haven't been able to do.
When did you start the network down there? Was it before or after the earthquake?
Well, we actually started Haitian Connection Network Student Computer Center after the earthquake. But I've actually been working down in Haiti as a short-term trip person since 1999. So lots and lots of trips down there. Actually, my passport is completely full. And
wow.
So I have to go and get another passport because there's that many stamps in there, most of them from Haiti. So, yeah. But I started going down. Actually, my first trip to Haiti was when I was 16 years old. And I went on a week-long mission trip with my church. And, what did I care about at 16? Boys, pimples, music. Certainly not like dying people in Haiti. And this one day, we went to a slum of Port-au-Prince. It is the poorest city in the poorest country of the Western Hemisphere. So we are talking like refrigerator boxes people living in. And this woman came up to me and she handed me her baby girl and she took off. And I can still see that child in my arms. I remember what she was wearing. She had on a white dress. She had ponytails. She had ribbons in the hair. And this child was just staring at me with these huge eyes. And it took a moment to register that this woman just gave me her kid. And I started screaming to the guys on my team, this lady just gave me her baby and ran away. Somebody go get her. And the guys went took off going to find her. And they got the woman. They brought her to me, and I handed her this child, and she looked at me and she said in Creole, I thought that you could give my daughter a better life in America. And it was in that moment that I felt like the clouds parted, and a voice said to me, Kristen, one day when you are married and you are older and you have a place of your own, you are going to adopt a little Haitian girl. It wasn't maybe adopt or could be China. It was very specific. And it was something that I held in my heart for years and years until I married my husband. And, I'm thrilled and humbled to say that it was because of that moment that I have a beautiful daughter here in Lancaster County from Haiti. Her name is Haitian. She's 10. So it's just interesting how sometimes those aha moments you have, they can really affect your life in the long term. And that's what happened for me with Haiti.
So, Kristen, adopting a child from Haiti is obviously a super personal decision that's impacted your family in the deepest ways possible. And yet you also use way more than 40 hours a week of your own time running this organization. What's the connection between you, the mother of a child that you've adopted to Haiti, and this work that you're doing with much older university students in Haiti?
That's a really good question. I think the connection is that when I think about people who are in Haiti, look, I'm no better person. I'm no more moral, more ethical, more intelligent than people in a third world country. For whatever reason, I've been placed here with a certain set of opportunities, and they've been placed there with a ridiculously limited amount of opportunities. I feel a personal responsibility. Like, okay, I've been given a lot of stuff. How can I utilize the stuff, the good, the bad, the whatever that I have been given? How can I utilize that in a tangible way to help other people? And it being Haiti, I think it's been a calling for me. Why Haiti? I have no idea. I'm not Haitian. But it's very, the call that I have felt has been specific to Haiti. I'm always amazed how the students that are currently at Haitian Connection Network, the strength that these students have. For example, we have a student who counted 46 bodies that they brought to the city morgue on the day of the earthquake. I don't know if I can handle that. Me, as Kristen Hertzog, I don't know. I don't know how I would deal with that if I had to deal with that kind of level of loss in my own life. And I look at them, and there's such a strength, and there's such a desire and a motivation for education and bettering their own lives. Kids are walking 2 miles to school. That's crazy. We can barely get up to drag ourselves to work in this country sometimes, And so I'm always doing that compare and contrast. And I definitely feel like our students, they have a desire and a will for a better life. And we can provide that for them with a little bit of infrastructure, a little bit of money. When you think about what it costs for the three of us to go to college, I mean, it's books alone cost, what it costs for us to fund the infrastructure per student for the center. So for me, I'm always thinking, how can I make the best use of my time, the best use of my own talents, and how can I spur other people on for that? Because we all have stuff. We all have ways that we can give back.
You talk about the infrastructure that you're providing the students there. What kind of opportunities are you giving them?
Well, within the center itself, you mean, or do you mean for after they graduate?
Both, actually.
Okay. Well, within the center itself, it's completely self-sustaining, if you will. So if you were to walk into the center, you would have on-site technical assistance. You would have a laptop that you could use, and it's connected to the internet. And we provide 1 meal per student per day. The reason for that is we had so many kids coming to school with these extreme headaches because they weren't eating, that it became a critical issue that you can't just provide education. You also have to look at the surrounding issues on how you can guarantee that success. And so those are some of the things that we provide now. What we're also providing for the future is we are intensively networking with companies, corporations, organizations in Haiti, so that when these kids graduate in 2 years with an associate's degree in business administration or computer science, we can then plug them into different organizations for job placement. So it's all about that full circle thing. Getting them the skill, helping them, giving them the understanding of what is a resume, what is a cover letter, how do you act in an interview. Great example, I did a class with them when I was down there last month, and we were talking about the issue of when you go in for a job interview, you look at your interviewer in the eye. You are an equal with that person. You are not less than them because you are seeking the job. They have something to give to you, but you also have something to give to them. And that is a total mindset shift for a Haitian person living in poverty, whose parents are illiterate, grandparents are illiterate. It's retraining of the mind. And I find that often when I'm down there, that I'm helping to retrain their minds, their mindset, that they are equal to me. It does not matter that I look different or I'm from the States or I have more education. You're my equal. And you deserve what I deserve as well. I don't deserve more than you do because I'm from the States.
Could you walk us through the typical day or the typical coursework of one of your students?
Yeah. Well, our students they can choose a shift. So each student is guaranteed 4 hours of online computer time per school day, Monday through Friday. So some kids come in the morning, some kids come in the afternoon. The meal is served in the middle. So the kids leaving, eat, and go home. The kids coming, eat, and stay. And all of the coursework is done with our university ally, University of the People in Pasadena, California. So they do all of the coursework. They do all of the academics. We provide the vehicle, if you will, for them to gain that access. So it's all done online.
And what kind of classes are they going through?
One of two. Currently, we only have the 2 majors that they can choose: business administration, computer science.
So that's just like any American student going through a 4-year degree program?
A 2-year degree
2-year
program.
degree program.
Yes, exactly. And University of the People is global. So let's say that you, Becky, wanted to get a degree in business administration. You could do the exact same classes online with the students at the Haitian Connection Network Student Computer Center and be in the same virtual classroom with them. Mm-hmm. So it's really opening up the students to other cultures, other people groups, and so forth. It's been interesting. I have one student who each day greets me in a different language because he's learning about all these different cultures in his online classroom.
Well, you've got here a college level education, but what's the infrastructure for under that? I mean, do people have to have high school education to come in there? Because I imagine that a lot of them don't.
Exactly. That's been a big struggle for us, Dave, because there's a disproportionate amount of people who want this education but do not have a high school diploma, or they don't speak fluent English. And our university ally is an American university, so they have to speak fluent English. So what we've done is we've prepared another program. It's an ESL class, and it's designed specifically for potential University of the People students who need that extra English. So we're kind of preparing them to move into the next level. So we have 3 programs, actually. We have the university program, we have the English as a second language program, and we also are starting next month an info hub. There's such a desire for the internet for the community, not just our students. So we're going to open up what Americans or people here in Lancaster might call a cyber cafe. We won't be serving food, but we will be giving them opportunity to access the internet specifically for educational purposes within the class, within our classrooms at HCN. So those are the three primary programs we have to offer right now.
Students go through your programs, and at the end of them, what do you hope for them?
Oh, my word. Gainful employment. Gainful employment. I want to see these kids get in, get out, get a job, and start helping themselves, their families, their community, and in all essence, their country. Because Haiti has been a country where there have been billions of dollars of other people's money dropped into that country. It would be great to be able to give the Haitian people the tools they need to run their own country effectively and ethically. So there's some neat there's a neat correlation between that, finding those jobs. So that's what I'm doing here in our headquarters in Lancaster. Is I'm networking with these organizations to say, hey, I have so and so graduating with computer science in November. Here's what kind of person he is. This is what we understand of him. Do you have a 3-month internship with a possibility for longer term afterwards? And so making those connections, making those, developing those relationships so that when those kids graduate, they're not hanging out to dry. They don't know anybody in the business world. And so it's our responsibility to help them get connected.
Kristen, as I understand it, Haiti is one of those countries where those who are privileged enough to get a quality education and those who really do have potential intellectually, if they get the chance, they leave as soon as possible.
Totally.
Can you talk about Haiti's need to fight the brain drain and how you're a part of that?
Well, I think that's why it's so important to me that we have the center located in Haiti, for the very purpose that you can educate a lot of Haitians for the same price you can send one to the States. So you're opening up opportunity for many more people by having a center in Haiti, by having job placement in Haiti. So we make it very clear to students, potential students, if you're looking to us to send you to the States or to Canada, you are in the wrong building. Our goal is to see Haitians get education and help their own country. There are other programs that are designed for people to leave. That's great. That's not us, though. So, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about cultural differences. One of the things that I actually, this fall, was talking to a friend of mine whose father does ministry in Africa, is we were at the New York Comic Convention, and we were queuing up to get into something. And he was like, can you believe that there's thousands of people here, and we're all civilly queued up, and we've been waiting here for hours. But then you go to like Africa or some of these third world places, and the whole idea of queuing is so foreign to them that they wouldn't even know how to, it wouldn't happen. Mm-mm. So, I mean, that's just one, basically. You talk about an internet cafe. I mean, people are going to have to queue for that, I'm sure, especially when it first opened. What kind of cultural differences have you had to work through, or have you noticed that are like, oh man, this is really different?
There are 100 things that just came into my mind all at the same time. That is a big challenge for me working in Haiti, is the cultural divide. Not only are you dealing with a different culture, you're dealing with a different socioeconomic level as well. Probably one of the biggest struggles for me is being on time. As Americans in the business world, we're on time. If you say you're meeting with me at 3, by golly, if it's 3:05, I'm going to get a phone call if you're late from you. And you're going to say, Kristen, I'm sorry, I'm late, I'm in traffic. In Haiti, they say 3, they might mean 5. So that reconditioning of, and at the same time being respectful of where they're at too. It's always that tightrope walk of, you don't want to be pushing your culturalisms on another culture. But, at the same time, we're not educating farmers. We're not training farmers where time is not very important. We're educating people who are going to work with computers and leadership, and time is critical for those people. So at least once a trip, I go, I thought I had this figured out, and here's yet another cultural thing that I just got smacked upside the head with. So time is one of them, but follow through is another one. There's not an understanding of follow through the way that we work follow through in the business world here. If I meet you for the first time and we're going to do a deal, I'm following up with you. Email, Skype, text, something. There's no thing. So many things fall to the wayside because people don't follow up. So, yeah, lots of cultural stuff. And queuing up also is one of them. They don't queue up very well in Haiti either.
Well, it's time to go to break, so we're going to head there, and when we get back, we'll have more with Kristen. Hey, everybody. We're here at Penn Cinema to find out what everyone's been talking about. Excuse me, why do you choose Penn Cinema?
I like the seats. They're really comfy. They're a lot nicer than most other places. Here's my house.
Oh, this place is great. I mean, it's popcorn. Got some. We got a slushy machine over there. We got 3 clocks. 3 clocks for the Lidditz, the Lancaster, and the effort of time, just in case you don't know what time it is in your area. That's why I love this place. They think about everybody. Very friendly.
Has a nicer environment.
It's clean and comfortable. It feels independent. It doesn't feel like part of a system. It feels like as big as it is and as polished as it is, that it feels independent,
Bigger screen, better quality.
So it's really close. It's very clean. We come here all the time.
What do you like about Penn Cinema?
The seats are my favorite thing. Very comfortable on the rump.
3D IMAX, the whole shebang.
It has a down-home feel, and we love the atmosphere that Penn has created. He really tries to take into account what people want in a theater.
It's really clean, and the seats are really comfy.
Yeah, I like the seats. It's the best movie theater to come to.
Well, you've heard what they have to say. Now come see for yourself. Check out Penn Cinema for first-class movies in a first-rate theater. Located at 541 Airport Road in Lidditz, PA.
Well, I first met Kristen at the Lancaster Alternative Gift Fair last November, and our tables were next to each other. I was representing a different organization that I didn't know too much about, and people weren't too interested in it, honestly, so I had a lot of free time. And you and I ended up talking a lot, and I just really enjoyed you and couldn't believe how many different random pieces there are to your life.
Truth be told.
So maybe you can just tell us a little bit more beyond the HCN side of you. Why don't you start with where you came from and how you came to be here in Lancaster?
Well, I was born and raised very close to New York City, in Middlesex County, New Jersey. And we all talk like this. We drink coffee, we open doors. And I had a very good friend in high school who was a professional actress and model. And I also loved theater, loved plays. Anytime there was a play, I was the one with my hand up. And I started to go with my friend and her mother on auditions in New York City and was just mesmerized by the process of what people do to be in show business. It is the most unglamorous profession ever, hands down. And people don't see that. They see the glamorous part of show business. And I just couldn't believe what went into the hard stuff people do to get involved. And through her encouragement, I started to also pursue it professionally. And when I was ready to leave high school, I auditioned at Sight and Sound Theaters in Strasbourg. And I was given a role in an upcoming show. What I thought was going to be a 6-month contract ended up being much longer than that. I ended up staying at Sight and Sound for about 13 years. As an actress, singer, dancer, I also worked in the producing group. I helped to write The Miracle of Christmas, a show that ran for over 10 years. So some great life experiences at Sight and Sound. But probably the biggest life experience that happened there is I met a most attractive gentleman who was an animal handler. Sight and Sound, for those of your listeners who don't know, have over 100 live animals. With that comes a lot of poop and a lot of people behind the scenes. Yet again, another glamorous part of show business who have to take care of them. And my husband was born and raised in Brownstown on a farm. He was doing a summer of working at Sight and Sound, and we would pass each other on the stage. I was dancing, sashaying across the stage, and he was driving a feed cart. Clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop. And he would tip his hat to me, and I would wave, and we'd pass our separate waves, and that was kind of our initial meeting. And about a year later, he and I were both going to the same church. And he was leading the worship team, and I was directing the drama team. So we were in all these leadership thingies together. And I just really liked this guy. He was so interesting, and he was a journaler. Like, he carried around a journal in his back pocket. Who does that, you know? And I thought I made it pretty clear that I was interested. But, you know, especially being like the Jersey Italian-American girl that I am, he wasn't biting. So I said, the heck with this. I'm just asking him out. So I asked him out, and completely deadpan face, he said, okay, I guess I'll call you sometime. And that was the end of the conversation. He walked away. I said, crap, I totally read that wrong. The next night, ding-a-ling-a-ling, hey, Kristen, you want to go out to dinner at the Italian Oven? What do you think of that, guys?
Italian Oven?
Do you think he was trying to segue a little bit? No, totally out of business. But we went out for our first date, Italian Oven, talked 3 hours. Within 4 months, we were engaged. Within that year, we were married. And we now live on the same farm that he was born and raised on. Wow. And we have a biological son, Kiefer, who is the 9th generation to live in that house from the same unbroken family bloodline. So if those walls could talk, it would be a very interesting thing. So yeah, I just kind of married into it, though. I don't have a family like my family legacy starts with, you know, my son, I guess. But and we converted it into a bed and breakfast. It's a 210-year-old gray limestone farmhouse with the Dutch barn in the front yard, I guess. And we turned it into a B&B, so we have that little business on the side as well.
Wow.
I'm all about keeping it, you know, keeping people going,
So much going on. I don't even know where to start, but I first thing I think of, since you ended on it, was the bed and breakfast. And I think, what kind of bed and breakfast host are you? Because one isn't it weird to have someone just randomly coming to your house to stay? Yeah. And then the second thing is, you always hear these stories about bed and breakfasts is where you sleep in and like you come downstairs and they had cooked breakfast like hours before, and they're like, "Where were you?
Oh my gosh,
I cooked this breakfast for you."
Well, we're not quite that country-ish B&B. We are in the country, actually. It's called the Hertzog Homestead, by the way. We cater more to couples. So we get a lot of people for birthdays, anniversaries, honeymoons. They actually eat their breakfast in their room at the time of their choosing. So everything's prepared the night before, freshly baked. I have an Amish neighbor who makes everything from scratch. And we put it in the room when they're at dinner. And in the morning, they can get up whenever they want. They can eat it in their bathrobe if they want. And everything's self-contained. So they don't even see us in the morning. And I have found most guests like it that way. I think that stereotype, of the, all right, bacon and eggs at 6 a.m. with the cows, that's not us. And I think most people, they want to get away from other people when they go away. So we give them that opportunity.
Then the second thing that came to my mind was, what's it like working across from Becky at one of these shows, huh? I see pictures sometimes, and she's just like sitting there. Sometimes she looks happy, sometimes she looks bored.
This girl's a firecracker. I don't know what you see, but I mean, she has a
Katy Perry song just came to my head.
Me too.
Let's take that out. Edit.
No, Becky is awesome, and I have also. Hey, it's truth. It is. I've learned so much from her from the standpoint of my humanitarian work. with Haitian Connection Network. This is a new organization. We've only been around 2 years, and Becky has been instrumental in giving great advice, helping me to think through things about fundraising and writing grants and things like that. And not only that, but like she's also been a great friend too. So it's been an awesome. It hasn't been that long, but like I feel like it's been longer than it.
I think I told you this when I first met you, but I'm from the Poconos, and I grew up at this random conference center that served mostly New Jersey and New York. And so being in Lancaster, sometimes I just miss me some Jersey.
Come on, girl.
And so when I first met you, I was like a moth to the flame, and I still am.
I love it. I love it. Well, I cook good food too.
You do. You do.
I like to cook I make my own wine and my own tomato sauce and pasta. Make my own pasta with the crank, and a little bit of Haitian food in there. So,
Where is it? You bring it in with you.
Next time, you tell me what you like, and I will. No, I love cooking for people. I think it's a love language. Some people are good at like gift giving. I'm really bad at remembering people's birthdays. Like my own children, sometimes I mix up their birthdays. But, I absolutely love to cook for people and make food. And it's probably the Italian in me, people, good food, good conversation. I think the Europeans have it all over us in those things. I think we've been ripped off a little bit with our fast culture here.
So getting back to culture, your household is such a wonderful mix. I mean, even just your marriage is an interesting mix. So can you just comment on maybe one or two like funny cultural moments in your family?
Well, on any given Sunday afternoon, you can find me and my daughter from Haiti sitting, I am standing over her head for countless hours braiding her hair. I have a new respect for women of African American persuasion because they spend a ton of time on their hair. Ridiculous. I mean, for me, anyway, to braid my daughter's hair, it can take anywhere up to 7 hours. And I'm not too bad with the extensions and the, using the pomades and the combs and all of that. So, that's always good times. I'm learning a lot about hair. Probably a big cultural thing is when I first met my husband, because he grew up relatively conservative Mennonite, surrounded by Amish farmland in a rather conservative family. He had never had ravioli before he met me. Okay. Our first Christmas, we spent Christmas Eve with my family in New Jersey and then drove the 3 hours and spent Christmas Day with his. So this is it went something like this. We drive to New Jersey. How you doing? Oh my God, kisses all around, hugs. Oh, who is this? Your new boyfriend? Oh, the blonde hair, the blue eyes. He's beautiful. Oh, eat some pasta. He's like, what? Where did I go? And, he was like, what is that? I'm like, it's lasagna. He's like, what is that? I'm like, it's red wine. What is that? Oh, it's antipasta. 24 hours later, we're in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, surrounded by head coverings and cape dresses. And we're sitting down for silent prayer, which I had never done before in my life. Did not know what was happening. Everybody's kind of put their head down all at the same time, and everybody came up at the same time, and they talked about the crops and the weather for 2 hours. And I'm like, Scott, what's that? He's like, it's creamed corn. I'm like, oh. Scott, what's that? He's like, it's pig stomach. I'm like, oh, what's that? It's pudding. Like, it was just like our culture, like we had never experienced that culture clash was unbelievable the first year. And, I make ham loaf now. So, keep everybody happy in the family. But food is has been an interesting clash of cultures, and also what you're allowed to talk about. Because in an Italian American, second generation, blue collar family, there's not a lot that's sacred. You can just kind of talk about whatever you want to talk about, and you are expected to answer accordingly. Like, you can't give a polite, why, thank you, yes. Oh, no, they want details, and they want them now. And then you go to his family, and you're looking at a situation where you almost are afraid to ask certain questions for fear of looking nosy or too curious. So it's always that tempering of those two cultures. And, okay, I'm going to my side, so now I can talk about this stuff or drink this kind of drink. And, oh, I'm going to this side, now I have to change. I almost have to have a different, it's almost like a different personality you have to put on so as to morph with each other's culture.
Man, do I ever relate.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I come from third generation Italian here, so it's like, growing up, the holiday meals were all, maragazza, galamad, lasagna, certain fishes and stuff, and it's like all this Italian food. And then for a while I was dating an Irish girl, and then I was going to her stuff for holidays, and it was like, I mean, I was able to identify the foods, but it was just like, it didn't feel like a holiday to me. I was like, what is, it's like, why would you eat this on this holiday? And,
Did the older generation in her family, did they accept you as an Italian American? Because as we all know, Italians and Irish, back in the day, they were fighting for the same blue collar jobs when they first immigrated. And, I found that some of that older generation remembers some of that bad blood between those two cultures. Did you find that with her?
No, they were mostly, Irish by name only kind of thing. Like we were Irish at one point, but they're so mixed now,
Yeah, no doubt.
The most difficult thing there was they put pennies in their food. I don't remember if it's just for New Year's or what, but they put pennies in their food. And then, like, if you are eating and you come across the penny, you're supposed to have financial luck that year.
Wow.
Which is disgusting. I mean, they clean the pennies, but it happened to me like twice, and you're chewing, and all of a sudden you're like, clunk.
So have you found financial wealth?
No, not
in your life.
No, not after that. I found grossness in my mouth, and then I was always afraid to eat stuff. I'm like, "Where's the penny?" And like, someone always knew, and I like, just tell me where it's not.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
Wow. Culture's a funny thing, Even as Americans, like we live in such an odd melting pot of cultures, and there's so much we can glean from each other, really.
Yeah. How about your Norwegian lifestyle?
Svensson.
Well, we do a similar, like, put random objects in the food and see what happens kind of deal. Around Christmas, we put an almond in the risgrøt. Risgrøt is rice porridge. Kristen's making a face. I mean, it's not really great, but it's better cold when you add a lot of sugar and vanilla and whipped cream. And so if you get the almond in your serving of risgrøt, then you get a marzipan pig all to yourself. Like a pig as big as your hand made completely out of marzipan. And it will make you sick, but it's delicious and it represents victory.
And it looks like a pig?
Yeah, it's like a mold in a mold.
What's marzipan?
Marzipan.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
Also pronounced marzipan, but I refuse.
Marzipan.
It's like an almond, sweet almond candy.
Okay.
Northern Italians eat that. Are you? Where's your family from?
Well, my grandfather was northern. My grandmother was southern. So
there's two cultures.
A little bit of a mix. Yeah, came over on the same boat.
No way.
Yeah, but
rocket.
The age difference was pretty substantial.
Really?
So,
Sounds like there's a story there.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if my grandmother was just born or something like that. There's some story about somebody being born on the boat over, but I don't know if it was my grandmother or one of her sisters, because they had like 12 or 14 siblings back then. Because there's no TV to keep you occupied, right?
What are you going to do with your time, right?
Right.
And Italian families.
Come on. We love life.
Well, Kristen, thanks for joining us. It's been great getting to know you. If
Thank you.
One of our listeners would like to get in touch with you, either about the Haitian Connection Network or you personally, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Haitian Connection Network. Well, first of all, I love going out and doing presentations. So if any of your listeners out there are looking for something interesting or like a charity to sponsor or just want to learn more, because of my theater background, I like to rock out the presentation. So they can get me at HaitianConnectionNetwork.org. Nice and easy. HaitianConnectionNetwork.org. Great website there. So check it out. Our bed and breakfast, if anybody is looking for a bed and breakfast to stay at in the Lancaster area or for their friends or family, it is HertzogHomestead.com. HertzogHomestead.com. And if they just want to email me and be done with it, they can get me at Kristen@HaitianConnectionNetwork.org.
Great. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys. This has been awesome.
We hope you've been enjoying the Lancast.
This episode was produced by myself, David Moulton, with show notes by Keith and Lauren Slesser.
All pertinent links to this episode can be found in the show notes at thelancast.com.
If you specifically liked this episode, we ask that you consider making a donation.
Every little bit helps. Even $1 a show can keep us going.
If you'd like to help support us, you can do so by going to thelancast.com/donate.
And don't forget to subscribe in iTunes and tell a friend about the show.
So, for the Lancast, I'm David Moulton.
And I'm Keith Slesser.
Asking, are you in the cast?